Got all the news pulled up.
Oh, yep.
The fuck? When did the doorbell go off?
In the midst of your Assassin's Creed-age. Creedage.
Somebody rang the doorbell. I don't know who that is.
Mail.
I don't know. Let me look at when the...
There's motion at my side. Slow motion from me.
Shoot, this was just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything good? You need to check it out? Wish we had another setting that wasn't just chatting. If we could use like a video game podcast tag from Twitch.
Podcasting.
Yeah, or podcasting. Just chatting's like weird shit in that category. I mean, we've been doing it this whole time, right?
Whatever do you mean?
Whatever do you mean? What are some examples of the just chatting content?
Do they involve kiddie pools or inflatable hot tubs?
Just like your Crash Bandicoot stream. I wish we'd backed all those up to YouTube. You did a playthrough of all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're due for another playthrough and you want to record those. Send the bitches to restream.
Oh, which one is... There we go. There we go. Better.
We're ready to go? Now recording.
Just got a message from somebody that said, we need a no soliciting sign.
We put one up. It mostly works, but we also get packages dropped off at the garage instead of the front door. Would they have done that anyways? Possibly.
That's the weird thing. Sometimes I'll get that here, where sometimes they'll bring them to the front, sometimes they just shove them in the mailbox, and every now and then they leave them by the garage.
Right.
Like, why did you just leave it right here? Makes no sense for you to leave it there, but whatever.
Yeah. Got it close. Good job. It's not where you bring all of my other shit. Let's keep the train going. Moving on up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 355 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink. This is the Southeast premier video game and... struggling with this one. Online purchasing dispensal podcast. Door ringing podcast? I'm not going with that either. Answer
No
your door.
soliciting podcast.
Yeah, no solicitation. Do not come here and solicit. We're the only people allowed to solicit here.
Part of the no from No Podcast.
Yes, there we go. No soliciting, no outside food or drink.
No soliciting.
Yeah.
No soliciting is a subsidiary of no food outside food or drink.
That's our like subsidiary show.
Mm-hmm.
That's our sub show. No solicitation.
It's the greatest show ever.
It's kind of asking for it though, right? Just like I feel like my sign might be. Fuck this dude. Let's just put his Oculus Quest in the garage space where it might get rained on. Which this may or may not have happened.
Oh no.
It's okay. I happened to be working from home that day and saw them on the camera and went to move said items so they did not get rained on. Have you ever had anything ruined with poor delivery or location or...
Thank God. No.
Yeah,
I mean, there has been a couple times where I think the package might, like the inside packaging might be a little dinged up or something, but
yeah,
for the most part, nothing's like completely ruined.
Yeah, from the shitty Amazon packaging sleeves.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I recently got the missus a new smartwatch, and it came as refurbished. So I was like, okay, it's probably not going to be in the original packaging, right? It was just in a regular mail sleeve, like mailer, And then on the inside, the box looked like a plane had dropped it into our house, like from like a flyover. And I was like, oh God, I was at work and I was telling her like, hey, I ordered you something that's yours on the porch. Go ahead and check it out. And she immediately just sends me back this box that looks like the Game Boy that was in the Persian Gulf War. You know, the one that still works, but it's like melted and all the buttons are loose and everything. And I'm like, oh God, I'm glad you took that picture because this thing might be completely hosed. Then she opened it, no issues. And it's like super minty on the inside, so that bare minimum shipping actually worked that time. Not my favorite way of getting things. And of course, my woes with FedEx and new game consoles were said items just riding around on the truck.
Still to this very day.
Almost
5
years in now? Like 4.5 years in? That thing's got some miles on it. Oh, Brand's got something on a truck joyriding.
About to say, I have to tell you all this because I have a game riding around on a truck right now.
Yes.
Let me tell you the saga that this game has been on.
Pop it in my launch PS5.
It's gone back to in transit to next facility. Okay, so June 10th, tracking number provided. June 11th, acceptance. Later in June 11th, it shipped from Tokyo.
Okay.
June 12th, it was processed through Tokyo. And then by June 14th, it was processed through USPS. The international...
That's a normal timetable, but still 2 weeks
servicing
ago.
Thing.
Yeah.
Through New York. Then it went to Queens, New York by the 16th.
Okay.
And stayed there through the 17th.
Chilling.
And then later on the 17th, it was scanned several times on the 17th till it finally went to in transit. Like it was scanned, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at that Queens, New York distribution center, and then scanned twice more and marked as in transit to next facility. Where eventually, late on the 17th, it arrived in Atlanta. So very close to its destination. Pretty close.
12 days ago as of this recording.
So then we went from the 17th, it being in Atlanta, to the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, it being marked for in transit to next facility.
Okay.
And radio silence from from June 22nd until I finally got an update the other day, June 27th. Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh no.
And then again, scanned later, same day, June 27th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Man, this thing is like Carmen Sandiego of packages.
The 28th and 29th has again been marked for in transit. So
it's coming back.
June 10th all the way to June 29th, still not in my hand, and it's going all the way around.
Are you keeping in touch with the seller? Are you talking to the seller at all?
No, I haven't yet. Because it came from a foreign country that's going to be a different kind of animal anyway.
I'm sure they're watching it too. Why Atlanta to Delaware? Why did it just got put in the wrong shuffle there?
I guess.
That's happened in one of my stuff where they shipped it back to Alaska and it had to go back to Georgia again. So.
Back to Alaska. That might be the furthest one, Cesar. You might win on that one.
Because I think I sent you a picture about it. It was a couple years back. Because I was like, well, I don't know what it was doing because it was one of those Play-Asia ones and it went from Hong Kong, China to Alaska to Kentucky, back to Alaska, back to Kentucky, then it got to Georgia.
Oh God. I've had some things
go
got
from the wrong plane or something like that.
Oh, for sure. I think my worst offender is like Jacksonville. Like it was almost here and then it went to Jacksonville. I was like, what the fuck is happening? You almost had it. You were in the vicinity.
I've had a couple go to Jacksonville and Miami to go to Atlanta and skip to Atlanta altogether.
Must be some major distribution center or something in Jacksonville. I don't know about Delaware though. I can't even excuse that one, Brant. I'm not sure what that thing's doing.
Oh, look.
That fucker's
We're in
joyriding.
Delaware.
Yeah. Yo soy Delaware. Tonight's news after getting our shipping updates on our games acquired.
I got one for you, Brand. You'll love this one.
Oh,
I ordered
Let's see.
Castle Crashers for Switch, the physical copy, and this was a couple months back, and so they sent it through U.S. Postal Service. It came in maybe a couple days later, but I finally got the tracking, and it was wrapped up in this package. It was wrapped in the bag, and they put up a little oopsie thing. Oopsie, we don't know what happened, and the whole box was filled with liquid detergent or some kind of cleaning detergent in the bag as they gave it to me. And I was like, I don't even know if this game's okay. So I opened it up and like literally, luckily it was factory sealed, and this whatever was on there, because it smelled fucking horrible. I had to sit there and scrub it out before I opened it.
Damn.
I was hoping it was detergent because it was blue. I don't know what it was. I thought it was funny because it actually had a little sticker with their bag and like, oopsie, we don't know what happened, but here's your package. And I was like,
never seen that before.
To this day, that's probably the worst experience I ever had with U.S. Postal Service, because I was like, I remember this came in here. It's like, great. I don't even know the state of whatever's in here, because all they did was something exploded all over it, I guess, over a whole bunch of packages, because that's what it looked like would happen. And they just threw up stuff and threw it in bags and put an oopsie sticker on there. And I was left with, okay, I guess I got to clean it up. Let's see if this works. Thanks.
And you hope it was detergent and it stank?
It smelled so bad. It was some kind of blue substance. Yeah.
Was it like overly perfumey, or was it like...
It just smelled like it smelled like fucking shit. So
it
was bad enough. It's bad enough when I opened up the bag, I had to go get gloves, like latex gloves, and put them on so I can get it out there, guys. I wouldn't touch it with my hands. I had no idea what the hell I was touching.
Smart.
So, and I was like, I called the postal service, like, I need to know whatever this is hazardous, and they just like, well, we don't openly ship hazardous stuff through the mail, sir. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not even going to argue with you guys.
Supposed to, but
so I was like,
sure people do.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm touching. I mean, I don't know if I'm allergic to it. I have no idea. You just throw it in the bag and say oops on the package. I was like, all right.
It's our oopsie fluid.
That is the worst shipping experience I ever had from U.S. Postal Service. So
that sounds terrible. You win.
Keyboard died. All right, tonight's news: more Xbox layoffs? Question mark. Drag X Drive gets release date. Are we going with Drag X or Drag 10 or Drag Cross?
I don't know.
How are they calling this?
I just call it Drag and Drive.
Drag and Drive gets release date. Don't drag and drive.
I don't know. I've always seen it done multiple ways. To your credit, Richard. I mean, I think like the anime Spy Family is just Spy Family, even though it says Spy X Family. I mean, I don't know.
Like Hunter X Hunter also.
Did you say called Hunter? It's just called Hunter.
Yeah, you didn't say the X in there. So it's just Drag Drive, maybe? That's what we're going with?
Probably probably until somebody from that company speaks out about it, right? So
Drag times Drive. Drag multiplied by Drive.
Or Nintendo, excuse me.
Yeah, that company is Nintendo, right? It's a first party joint.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You have Donkey Kong Bananas next month, and then you have Drag Drive in August. I think that's their summer slate. So
far
for the Switch 2, yeah.
And it's we'll get into it later. Never mind. Just keep going.
Yeah, that's fine.
That limited edition Xbox Meta Quest we talked about last week is out now. Go get it.
Like the day after we
talked about it. It was within like 12 hours of us discussing it. It became very real.
They said it was very limited and it's still up, right?
Yeah.
I haven't checked. Is it up at Best Buy? I'm not buying from Meta.
Yeah, it's up at Best Buy.
The next Nintendo GameCube game coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus. What could that be? And we have your July PlayStation Essential titles. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
Brant, great job on the news.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also here,
I'll find it.
that was it. That was it. That was your cue.
He's got to do it.
Also here, our resident lore master, and
Thank you.
that's it. That's all we were after. And soundboard mixer, Cesar Concepcion the
Thank you.
second. Yes,
Thank you.
of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Cesar, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, again. You were most appreciated for your soundboard contributions and your contributions to this here fine video game podcast.
Heavy machine
Keeping
gun.
up
Yes, as
keeping
you
up
break
with
out
all the
your
lore.
heavy machine gun. My keyboard's not working. This is not good. I'm not pleased.
Time for a new iPad.
Oh God, we talked about this last week. When I get an update, I'll be good.
Exactly.
No, I'm not getting a
It's
new one.
iOS 26. Yeah, iOS
I'm not
26.
getting a new one. I'm in the land of the Brants now because my new to me MacBook Pro is not going to be able to take the new Mac OS less than a year
No.
already.
Already?
yeah.
Wow.
They cut
I
the.
thought-
they
I
cut-
thought I had. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
it's the next to last year of the Intel Max is the one that I have. So it's M1's going forward, except for like one series, and I don't have that final series. I think it's the one with it's like the 15-inch version of the same one that I have. I have the 13-inch, and the specs are pretty much the same thing in it, but it's not gonna. I don't get the new whatever the new OS is. I'm not getting it.
I sure enough thought this was. I have an iPad Pro 1 first gen that I use like to the gym and stuff like that to stream anime and just
Mhm.
random bullshit that I don't care about. And I was like, all right, this is a year that it's going to start to decline, and I'm not going to get the latest update. And it's fucking on there for the iOS 26. I was like, it's still going. The 2019 model, I think, is what it is. So
That's what this
iPad
MacBook Pro is. I
yeah,
should have got the iPad Pro from that year, not the MacBook Pro.
I mean, I wasn't going to upgrade anyways because I was just going to keep going until they invalidated the Crunchyroll app, where it's like, oh, you have to update the iOS to get the latest version of Crunchyroll. That was going to be my. I was going to ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, that used to bug me. Like, you can't have the latest features of this, that, and the other. And I'm like, this is still a very, very competent MacBook. I do all my editing of the show on there. It has all my Apple passwords under Touch
Wow.
ID. I can log into whatever I need to and just hit my Touch ID, and I'm good. I'm very happy with it still.
Don't worry, Brant can show you some ways around that.
Yeah, Brandon
Yep.
has some tricks of the trade. That thing's been going since the Bush administration.
Which one?
Senior, just like the Persian Gulf Game Boy. Brant, show him that clamshell iBook. I haven't seen that model since Legally Blonde.
You
Which
make
one?
fun, but I'm gonna get one of those.
I like those iBooks. I think they're pretty awesome looking.
They're pretty good.
They're slick.
I like the way they look.
That was a hell of a machine. All right, let's get into this news. Xbox is reportedly planning another round of major layoffs next week. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com. According to a report from Bloomberg, which cites, man, if Bloomberg would stop firing all these people from these video game companies.
Why would Jason Schreier do something so controversial but yet so brave?
So brave of Jason Schreier. Personally. We
I
kid.
think it's not funny.
Yeah,
but
this isn't really a laughing matter. We kid, but it is Bloomberg
You'd be,
that breaks these.
you'd be surprised how many people go up there like with Jason's firing people again on
Yeah.
social media, and I'm like, I don't know if these people are real or not. So some people get very hurt. Why would you hurt my major corporation?
That overspent and invested in the wrong things, and now the people working on said things that they were told to do get fired instead of those making money at the top. Anyway, moving along, Bloomberg, which cites sources familiar with the plan, speaking under anonymity. The company
There we go.
is set to conduct a round of layoffs next week as part of a company-wide reorganization. Bloomberg had previously reported that Microsoft plans to cut thousands of jobs next week, mostly consisting of its salespeople, but it now appears its gaming division will also be affected by layoffs. As the report notes, this will be the fourth major round of layoffs at Xbox in the past 18 months. They then recap from January 2023 to January 2024. And September 2024 were the last rounds, and there's some Phil Spencer quotes in there. Then in January 2025, it was reported that Microsoft had made an unspecified number of layoffs across several divisions, including employees in the Xbox makers, security, sales, and gaming businesses. This especially sucks because, as we've mentioned recently, Xbox seems to be firing on all cylinders and really reaping the benefits of some of this labor that these people, who I'm sure they've been compensated for their time and efforts, will not be able to continue contributing to the success of Game Pass or Microsoft as it goes. Hopefully, again, we talked a couple layoffs ago about there was someone I heard on My Perfect Console that has set up I don't know what you call it, but it's a landing point for those laid off by these large gaming companies where they can put their skill sets out there and hopefully latch on with somewhere else. Well, something went off. Oh, it's listening to the whole thing.
Yeah, your Siri is
just like
copying
ready
you
to
completely.
transcribe the entire fucking conversation. What did Siri
minute.
hear?
Get
Yep,
I
minutes
don't
for you.
know.
Siri's
I
just
just
like ready to
saw it on your
transcribe the
wrist and
entire
it kept
fucking
going.
conversation. I saw it on there again. So dumb. It always goes
I
off
don't
in
see
the
it
wrong
in this.
spot.
I don't see it in this article, but there was an update where I guess several people are kind of listening to people over there and partners that are, other things that are part of Xbox, people that are owned by Xbox, and it seems that it's rumblings that it could be pretty bad for for the gaming side. And there's
Not good.
some, I guess they didn't say which ones, but there's some UK based developers and studios that are a little worried at the moment. So, and the whole thing is their fiscal year starts July. So, as of recording this, tomorrow's the 30th. So I'm guessing we'll hear whatever this news is
tomorrow sometime.
whatever these layoffs are coming, or probably going to be within the next 24 or 48 hours.
Not good. Who do they have over there? It's Rare, of course, is in the UK.
Oh, I hope it's not Rare.
The Forza people, Turn 10, aren't they? Forza and Fable now, aren't they a UK studio?
Yeah, that was it. That was I couldn't remember offhand, but that was Turn 10.
Turn 10 was the one mentioned.
Was one of the ones on supposedly on the chopping block, which is crazy.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff in the works. Where's Obsidian? Is that a US, like a Texas studio?
California.
They're in California? Okay.
It was in Exile, so it was Double Fine.
And they're all churning out stuff, like they have announced projects coming out.
I mean, it could be, unfortunately, I don't want to speculate, but it could be them. I mean, they got games that are finishing up and coming out, and that's typically when you see some downsizing. So,
yeah,
I would imagine they're maybe going to that Sony method, my guess, where they start sending in other studios to support others when games are getting close to get finished.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, so.
Second party, like
Nintendo,
a people can fly type thing for the Gears. Somebody they've worked with in the past before.
Because we all seen that with Monolith Software, when they're not working on something, they help with Tears of the Kingdom. They they do kind of help around. I can totally see them do that. It's very unfortunate, but
hopefully all those affected land on their feet sooner than later. Speaking of landing on your feet, Drag Cross Drive release date confirmed for Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo's wheelchair basketball game is out in a couple of months. This comes from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. In a short trailer posted on the Nintendo Today app, Nintendo confirmed that the game will be released on Nintendo Switch 2 on August 14th. Drag 10 Drive is a wheelchair basketball. I'm going to call it something different every time I read it.
Yeah,
is a wheelchair basketball game in which players use the mouse controls on both Joy-Con 2 controllers and move them forwards and backwards to emulate the moving of a wheelchair. Players can then lift a Joy-Con 2 controller to throw the ball in an attempt to get in the basket and score points. In the form initially shown off,
Brant's game of the year with his favorite gimmick from Nintendo.
The mouse controls?
No.
Brant plays with mouse controls. Have y'all tried to do
Oh,
anything with the mouse
no.
controls yet? I haven't either.
Professor said they're in Cyberpunk, right?
They are not that bad in Cyberpunk. It
Okay.
uses that to look around like you're using a mouse. The only thing that's weird is getting you used to using the left thumbstick instead of like the WASD key to move around. So
Okay.
it's like you got to retrain your brain because after decades of playing keyboard a certain way, then it's like, oh, but it's fairly accurate. So
Used to doing this motion, but you're holding that, or you're also mousing.
just kind
on
of
the
like
left side?
sideways this way and just kind of just using the right Joy-Con as a mouse. So
That is a little
It-
funky.
it works. I just don't know how well it would work for me if I did something like a first-person shooter like Fortnite or Warzone that would just me throwing the fucking controller against the wall because I'd be like, that's just I feel like how it would go down. So
Yeah.
Or Halo, when Halo inevitably comes to Switch 2.
Obviously, this is
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
a tentpole franchise. To me, this
It
is
looks
kind
cool,
of
though.
this is kind of odd for them. It does well. It looks interesting. But it doesn't have that usual Nintendo flair. It looks very bland. Everything's very gray, and then you
Feels-
have like that little bit of color with like trails behind the vehicle because this says wheelchairs. They are obviously wheelchairs, but like Nintendo is very reluctant to call them wheelchairs. They like call them vehicles.
Yeah. Because you're
Brant, you're
there's two wheels to
100%
your
correct.
side that you're using, to do
Yeah.
that momentum and stuff.
I mean, this is an official sport, so but also, Brand, you're
Mhm.
100% correct. This feels like a weird,
Tech
Not even-
demo kind of deal.
like something that came out in the early days of PS3, Wii,
Yeah,
360, like before they figured out how to make games. It's like, oh, we're gonna make it certain colors and it looks bland, and until they started kind of, it feels like an early digital download game.
yeah,
So
Or not
and-
even a
and it's
standalone release,
specific- yeah,
like part of Wii Sports or something.
yeah.
I got a feeling Brant's right. I got a feeling that the aesthetic, like the looks and all that, was probably gonna get dinged when this comes out. But I got a feeling what they're trying to sell on is like you guys said, experience and the gameplay. I think it's gonna be, if it hits, is gonna be one of those ones like. But the gameplay on this is awesome. You know, what I mean, it may not be pretty to look at, but
Yeah. And everybody with a Switch 2 is now playing this game. Dragon
I
Drive.
don't know about that. I don't know about everybody.
I thought it was
The
my first takeaway was that it was kind of in that ARMS territory, but from what you guys are saying, like ARMS was just overflowing with personality and charm and originality, and
Yes.
this doesn't. You can't really identify with these helmeted characters, right? We're not seeing anything.
yeah, they're all
from-
very the same character. They're
Mm.
just different. They have like a different like color palette to them. So
like
It
Tron
feels-
extras.
feels like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. But it feels like it's that Nintendo Switch 2 like touring game, right? It's like, oh, this should have came out day one because it's like this is how to use these type of controls or what you can use it for. Like you can pitch this to the developers and stuff like that. But I think it's like the pickings are kind of slim on the games coming out that are Switch 2 exclusive. So they kind of like, all right, let's kick this out a couple months.
Make
So.
this a new release, a tentpole release.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
I don't see it in here, but I thought I saw something about this game maybe being like $20 or something like that
It is
too.
$20. You're absolutely
Like,
right.
it's
Yep.
not
Okay.
very expensive. So them pricing it like that also makes me feel like it's gonna be like, oh, there's 3 different arenas and here's your 3v3 drag drive arena basketball game. Like
Drag and
it's
drive.
I don't think it's gonna have a lot of replayability.
I mean,
I don't know.
You got to remember
They're
back in
gonna
the
have to
day,
update.
this feels like it's like this version of like the supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars, right? They ended up turning into Rocket League.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm about to
'cause
say,
this-
if I
'cause
want this, I want Rocket League. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
play
but
Rocket
see,
League.
before Rocket League, they had something similar to this. It was small in
Yep.
scale. It was just the idea of just playing soccer with RC cars. It wasn't many options, many cars, or anything like that. They just kind of like the next game is where they took it to the next level. So it feels like this is
Mhm.
kind of like a step. Like, all right, we're gonna see if this takes off, and if it does, then the next one is gonna be the one that's gonna have all the, as Brand is alluding to, the personality, the Nintendo flair. Like they would say in Office Space, you don't have enough flair.
Not
Put
enough
some flair
pieces
on.
of flair.
Yeah.
Or if it's
Need
as
15 pieces of
successful
player.
as Rocket League, then you end up with like Back to the Future wheelchairs and things like that, right? Like a themed.
It's a gas game that could be. You never know. Like,
If it takes off, you can see it go in that direction. Time will tell. The MetaQuest 3S VR headset is out now. This comes from VGC and Andy Robinson. We talked about it last week. It's now official. It's being sold only through the Meta.com store and Best Buy in the USA, Argos in the UK, and EE also in the UK. Microsoft announcing it is an exclusive, extremely limited quantities. Quote, once they're gone, they're gone. And it is $400 US, 380. Is that pounds or? I think that's pounds. It's not euros.
yeah.
What do you get with that $400 US, you ask? Of course, you get a bundle, which includes a 128 gig MetaQuest 3S in Xbox Carbon Black and Velocity Green, which, to my knowledge, they have not had a black MetaQuest headset yet. Matching Touch Plus controllers, a limited edition Xbox wireless controller, an Elite strap, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus, and 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Good deal.
Pretty good fucking value. That's not in the quote. Quote, with cloud gaming and the launch of the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition bundle, there have never been more ways to play with Xbox, says Microsoft's Gaming Partnerships VP, Lori Wright. You would think Lori is pretty busy right now, right? Being the Gaming Partnership Vice President.
Mm-hmm.
When Lori got the job, there were just 2 Xboxes. Now everything is an Xbox and everything. Lori's busy with all these partnerships. Quote, we're proud of what
It's smart.
Yeah.
Smart, like you said. I mean, we don't have to worry about Xbox making the VR thing. Hey, you want to play our games? Here's a VR thing that somebody provides, and we've provided a way for you to play them on here. So.
Here it is. And they're picking good partners, right? Like this is a proven ecosystem for good VR gaming, and we've partnered with this company.
Are the most, I'm not saying the best, but it's probably the most established and widespread at this moment in time. So.
It is. It is. They have a great ecosystem. It's easy to put that thing in developer mode and put whatever you want to on there. It's a solid kit all around. Quote, we're proud of what we built together with Meta, and we can't wait for you to dive into everything the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition has to offer. Whether you're streaming the latest Xbox Game Pass Ultimate titles, exploring the ever-expanding world of VR, or kicking back with immersive entertainment, this is just the beginning of what's possible when great teams and great technology come together. There it is. Ultra combo from Killer Instinct.
I'm about to say
My mind went blank for a second.
All right. As you get older, as I am your senpai in life, you're my kohai. It's going to get worse. Trust me. I look forward to the day you can suffer equally with me. So
I suffer a lot already as it is. All right. Somebody tell me about this next GameCube game coming to the Switch 2 library, unless Buish is already playing it, and that's why he can't join the show and watch with us.
definitely not playing it.
Oh,
but
July 3rd. Yeah, it's not out yet.
I'll let Brant's usually our Nintendo correspondent. Go ahead, Brant.
Live from the ground. Our resident sports correspondent as well. Brant, what do you got? You're there pitch side.
But yeah, it comes out July 3rd. This is Chris Golion reporting. VGC Nintendo confirms the 4th game coming to Nintendo Switch 2's GameCube library is going to be Super Mario Strikers, known in Europe as Mario Smash Football.
Yeah, smash that football, Mario.
So this could be a game for next weekend, really, too.
Yeah.
If we get Bleach in there. First game in the Mario Striker series. It's street football game, 1 to 4 players. Players put together a 5-person squad, choosing one of 8 team captains. And from a selection of 4 sidekicks. The game's 7 stadiums are filled with power-ups, including bananas, shells, bombs, chain chomps. Players can also charge up Super Strike, which lets their
Super
captain
strike.
fire high-powered shots, which counts as 2 goals if it's scored.
I've never played this game. I have it for GameCube. I've never played it, and I think I have the
Let's
Wii
say I
version
haven't-
also.
I haven't either, but I'm just telling Cesar this could be a candidate because it's going to be there before next weekend, and we do have a American holiday coming up too.
Ooh,
So
you guys want to stream this? You guys want to stream some Mario Strikers?
why not?
Yeah, on our American
Why
holiday.
Not our great American holiday.
The holiday of America. We celebrate with Europe's football, European football game.
Yeah, we get the European version.
Yeah. You guys are playing American football on July 4th, right? You get to play some. Yeah, you get to play some Mario football. Oh, we got your Mario football for you. Celebrating the land of our independence. Oh, I'm actually more in line with this stream now than I was before. This sounds like a good time. I think I have all these. I think I have the one for Switch too, the Super Strikers or whatever they call that thing.
I held off, and I'm actually glad I held off.
I'm
I got
buying
the
game.
golf and I got the golf game and Mario for Switch, and it's annoying that they did the same thing with every sports title, including Nintendo Switch Sports, where the game's complete, it's just incomplete, and it's just missing all sorts of game modes and everything. And then as they went like a couple months out, hey, here's an extra thing. Here's an extra thing again in a couple months. They try to do that like live servicey thing to keep people playing, but it's not a live service game where you need people engaged. We already bought the full title. Just
The
wait a
tennis
little bit,
game
put
did the
everything
same
on that
thing.
card. The tennis game, golf, and Mario Strikers.
I got tennis very early on, and then I think it was one of Cesar's
You said it was
coworkers.
underwhelming, right?
Oh, extremely.
Every
But-
Mario sports game, has, like you guys said, has been underwhelming this last couple generations.
On the
It's
Switch,
like,
yeah, especially. Oof. But I think it was one of Cesar's coworkers was like, check on Mario Tennis Aces. It got better. They added a bunch of stuff. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think as a matter of fact, I traded it in for New Super Mario Brothers U. They had some crazy promo. I got like $40 for that towards Mario U. I have the receipt in there still. And it's like, I wasn't playing. It was just sitting there. And I didn't think it was a good Mario Tennis. If I want a good Mario Tennis, I've got others I could pull from. I didn't need that Switch one.
I wonder if there's a cart variant out there, because
With everything.
I'm about to say, as they continue and print more of those carts, they have that like code at the bottom, and it'll tell you what, if you look it up, what update is on that cartridge. I wonder if there's one with the latest update on there.
Might be worth a shot. Have they updated any of those with these Switch 2? Like just either runs better or
Not yet.
ends up being an update for those sports titles? Of course not, because
Last
they want
thing
to
we-
sell us a new one, right?
this update was what, Splatoon 3? So
Mhm.
I was hoping to do one a week, but
Which I should have in Buish's hand hopefully by like Tuesday, Wednesday.
All right, Buish. It'll be go time for Splatoon. That could potentially be our stream if we're not playing European football. If we're not playing British football.
We can play European football. We can play European football on our independence, and then fire some paint guns.
European.
Some red, white, and blue.
Oh,
I mean, we can also have Zero. I mean, we can do the whole. It's only this time.
Yeah, we can do the whole
But two
library.
GameCube games in there. That's multiplayer, right?
that's what we're trying to celebrate the
Yeah.
holiday. We want to dump some tea into some harbors and those sort of activities.
What's more American than racing around a track and turning left? So.
You're not wrong. Oh shit. It's not too bad. All right, look forward to that July 3rd, Super Mario Strikers. I need to see if I'm pretty sure I have that GameCube game. I'm just curious. Last but not least, PlayStation Plus monthly games for July, and a big thank you to players for 15 wonderful years. That comes from Nick McGuire, VP of Global Services, Global Sales, and Business Operations at Sony Interactive Entertainment via the PlayStation blog. Diablo 4, King of Fighters 15, and Jusant available to all members as PlayStation Plus turns 15. These will be available from July 1st through August 4th. Diablo 4 is, of course, for PS5 and PS4. King of Fighters 15 is for PS5 and PS4. And Jusant, which is an action puzzle climbing game and a meditative journey to the top of a tall tower, is a PS5 exclusive. There's also some benefits with the 15th anniversary celebrations. Hopefully I get a new wallpaper for my PS3, because those were some pretty cool themes we got for the PlayStation Plus anniversaries with the PS3. Let's Wrestle. You get PlayStation Plus premium members can get a game trial of WWE 2K25. Also for premium members, Monster Hunter Wilds game trial. I'm not going through all this.
No.
Valorant stuff.
You don't have to.
PlayStation tournament stuff on EA Sports, FC, NBA 2K, UFC, Madden, NFL, College Football, Tekken 8, and more. PlayStation Pictures Core, which gives you a 15% discount, and online multiplayer weekend, Saturday and Sunday, where all players can join multiplayer matches with no PlayStation Plus membership required. That is kind of a cool touch. I feel like Xbox does that pretty regularly. But that may just be the amount of attention that I'm paying it. Is that it for news? Was there any late editions? Sometimes we get a Brant late edition where just he is going to inform us of what's happening. It's a good month for PlayStation Plus. Maybe we all finally do Diablo as a Saturday game. We kind of kicked it around before.
We always kick it
They
around.
added Diablo to Xbox too, so.
About to say, Buish has access to it on Game Pass as well, right?
Yeah. Cross-platform, so we don't have to worry about the nonsense. It's easier for me to stream on PS5 at the moment, so it's definitely a contender.
Speaking of streaming on PS5, games played. We played a lot of embarrassing Halo last night. We jumped into Halo Infinite, hoping that we would get some different experiences. I still don't believe you guys have ever won that Super Husky bullshit. I don't believe you. I've never won it. I don't think you can. It's impossible. We never even scored. We barely even touched the flag on all rounds that we played at that shit. Brant, don't reach for your copies of Super Husky Victory. Okay, I thought you were going to.
Hang it on the wall.
Yeah, we had better luck with Tactical Slayer and what was the other one we did decent at?
One Shot Mangler, in which friend of the show Buish and our one and only Superfly tended to carry. So that's our One Shot Manglers. That is not my round. I know you guys enjoy it, but it was dicey for me. you got the win and kill, man.
I mean, you do better in Tactical Slayer because you go for the headshot. I have difficulties following that because people watching me on the screen is like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But it's like Mangler, I can shoot him in the foot and they die instantly. So because it's just one shot.
True.
So
That's true. Yeah, I'm absolutely the team's weakest link at that Mangler one shot. Yes, I got the final kill, but I was like 0-10 before that. It was horrible. I was dragging us.
hey, it was close, man. Some of those matches were close. So that win was a clutch. Don't downplay yourself.
Those were good competitive Halo rounds, except for the dog shit ones. We had two surprising lockout map reproductions. We coined them what? One was like a Star Wars, like it was like we were on the Death Star, like everything is gray and metallic
Imperial.
and black and glowing red and blue.
Imperial lockout.
Extremely Imperial. And then we had like the indoor version where everything's like grown over and jungly.
That was one of our games of Oddball, I think.
Was it Oddball we played on that one? It wasn't. They weren't both Tactical Slayer, were they? Or one of them was Manglers, maybe?
That one was fun, and so was the level up one where you leveled up and got different weapons, and each weapon
really
got
cool.
worse and worse. Yeah. Escalation. There we go. You got it. You nailed
I
it.
think we only played one round of that. I would easily go back to that. I feel like that was a really good time. We hadn't quite figured out because everybody gets kills with whatever weapon you start off with, right? And we started off with rockets. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And then after a certain number of kills, you get to hold down X to like upgrade your loadout, right? And so there was a lot of back and forth where they got ahead of us. with the weapon loadouts, and then we got ahead of them, and it kind of shifted back and forth. And the last one just had you swinging skulls, right? Weren't you just trying to melee people with skulls? That was fucking cool.
And we lost at the very end because it was that whole melee mechanic, man. It's like, I don't get how my melee was slow enough to beat somebody.
We did lose at the end, and I don't know how.
The bubble shrouds, too.
Yeah, they were throwing out those shrouds, yeah. It was hard to tell what the fuck was even happening.
Yeah, the shrouds were the great equalizer. So that was we couldn't capitalize, and we lost by like 1, right? It was a very, very, very close game.
Yeah, I think we lost by 1 over a long round. Like it was a bunch of rounds of that. That was a lot of fun. I would play that escalation again. Maybe when we do Halo Infinite again, we jump straight into that. That and y'all stupid Super Husky. See if I can win one. So I don't believe you.
I don't even know how you would sit there and become like an ace in that game. It's just all luck based. It's like it's just luck based. It's luck based that you have a good enough squad to know, like, all right, we got a shit ton of superpowered weapons. Everybody rush and just throw everything you have, and then you're just gonna get lucky because you're gonna kill everybody at once. That's how you win.
Yeah, and
they're all stuck spawning for 6 seconds,
and then you're just swinging a hammer over and over until
by the time they're back, you're already halfway back to your base. I mean,
yeah,
there's no recovery, you know.
Because the last one we did, we were pretty competitive, right? For like a minute or two, it was back and forth. Like nobody really had an advantage, and then they got one on us, and then that was it. It was over after that. We could never clear them out.
Damn Husky neutral bomb thing.
Yeah,
that one. Golly,
it wasn't bad. And I had a chance to like save us at the end, and I was holding the X, but it didn't do anything. Like I had a chance to disarm the bomb, but it just went off instead. So. I don't know if I ran out of time or I didn't hit a proper button or what, but I was kind of ill about that one because I was just sitting there staring at it when it went off and killed us. Slightly annoyed by that one. Then we pivoted to Old Man Halo, which of course is Halo Combat Evolved, the PC version. So we get rounds like Hellbringers and muskets and all sorts of the PC nonsense that we're used to. We maybe only lost 1 or 2 of those, right? We won almost every round we played of that one. We got some muskets, we got some Hellbringers, we got some Fiesta. I feel like whenever we lost, it's because somebody got kicked. So the first time it was Brant that got kicked, he just didn't load in. It's like, what the hell? Then you had a ban for like an additional 5 minutes after we were done. And then it happened to Buish. Buish just didn't make it into the round. It's like, what the fuck is even happening? And Buish had to wait. But it's, I think Old Man Halo is still a pretty solid experience. I enjoyed both. I'm down for another Halo night like that.
Yeah.
If we don't celebrate America's independence with British football.
Oh, we will. We will. European version of Mario Strikers.
Yeah.
Mario Hand Egg.
What is
Mario
that?
Football.
Mario Hand Egg.
Mario Hand Egg. I've heard that term for our football before.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty good. That was our group assignment for Saturday night. Someone on this podcast may or may not have played through South of Midnight, and that has been on my list. That person being Cesar and talking about it. And I was like, you know what? I got on the ROG Ally. I got a couple hours. Let's see how this goes. I'm on chapter 3. It has, Cesar was not wrong, Brant. It is not only like super strong story-wise and very much a PS2 game. This is extremely like the best looking, best performing, most polished PS2 game you've played, where upgrades get rolled out pretty quick. Movement is given, here's an upgraded thing you can do on movement, but you barely did another thing. So here's a way you can climb faster and that sort of thing. But the story is so fucking good. I was immediately into the story, and it feels like we're in Georgia, right? We're not in Louisiana, but there is a very southern twist to this tale that's instantly very recognizable as being their type of tale, like a Louisiana thing, but it's also very southern, and you just feel it. Within like an hour, there's a Brer Rabbit reference, and I was like, oh shit, this is Cesar. I can't remember if you mentioned that or not, but I was like, oh my god. And we're not going into the Song of the South stuff and all that sort of thing, but like we're an hour to 2 hours from Edenton, where is Joel Chandler Harris wrote. What's that?
The Uncle Remus Museum.
Yes, the Uncle Remus Museum and those stories. And I have always considered those stories like stories for me, like Georgia's tales. And when you hear these like Southern, what are they? They're not nuances. It's just seeped in Southern
It's like,
tradition and lore and everything. And it's so fucking accurate and it's so layered in there.
It's kind of like a good example for me would be like when I was in Texas is like the Texas Tall Tales. It's like each state has like their own like legends and stuff like that.
That's it. It's lore, but it's like a region specific lore, right? Like Tall Tales, I guess, is the best. I think you nailed it. You nailed it on that. But I ran. It pretty much runs at like low settings on the ROG Ally Z1E. And I bumped up one thing, and then it plays pretty much flawlessly. And if you watch some of the tech stuff on Digital Foundry, they talk about some of the bandwidth that gets saved by like, y'all seen the stop motion. Well, Cesar beat the game. Brent, you've seen like the stop motion storytelling, like the way the characters move. It's at like a half frame rate thing. It's at like a 15 frame per second thing. And it's a storytelling decision. So it works in the context of the story, but it also saves on like the game. So whether you're playing it on PC or Series S or Series X, it's a solid experience across the board, and I've loved every second of it. I downloaded it on the Series S. God bless that transferring, or what did they call it now?
Xbox Play Anywhere.
Play Anywhere. So I downloaded that, and I downloaded Oblivion, and I'm right fucking where I was on my ROG Ally, and it just works, and it's crazy that you could just be in that same spot. It's insane. I'm sure the PC players that listen to us are like, we've had this for years.
To Richard's credit, that's the only thing that would keep me in the Xbox ecosystem, because I do love Steam and the longevity of it, but I was like, that having multiple Microsoft devices or different ways to play it and have a Play Anywhere is like, I might buy a digital copy on their ecosystem because it just fucking works. It just
works. It's great. And Cesar's been talking about this game for a couple weeks now, and I don't have to go over the story, but like Hazel, the heroine, she's a track star, so that's built into like her movements and her motivations, and she's had all these issues with her mom, and you find out the mom's a social worker, and mom's like trying not to bring work home. Hazel's a high school graduate, like she's a senior. So we all thought we had stuff figured out as high school seniors, right? Like put yourself in that mentality, and then layer on top of that, like your mom's a social worker and she's trying not to bring all this, the things that she deals with, the cases and all that. They live in a very rural area. It's not wealthy. Like you meet some of the residents of their neighborhood in the opening chapter, which it's one of the best opening chapters in any game ever. You're immediately hooked. You're immediately immersed in the universe. It's not a tutorial. You're not walking around learning how to do stuff. You're introduced to characters. You're in that universe. You're seeing the art style. It's raining. It's so fucking good, man. This is a top tier title.
I'm just like, it's like what Richard said. I want to take over what you said, but I mean, it's very much that PS2, Xbox, GameCube generation where you picked up a game, it felt complete. It's been a while since I played something that felt so complete and never had to feel like, oh, let me wait for updates because it doesn't feel right, or I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. Like, why did I buy this day one? Or
this is
that nonsense you have to deal with. Yeah,
this would have been on the disc from. It feels like a Beyond Good and Evil type title almost. It feels like a Ubisoft game. You've said Sands of Time, right? It feels very much in the vein of a Ubisoft title from that era. The combat is not amazing. You kind of get locked in these little arenas, and it's gotten better since I've gotten more attributes where I can wrap people up with the weaving and stuff.
When you get a full slate, it's fun. When you get every ability on there, it's fun. Yeah,
I could see that being a good time. But it's fucking good, man. It's a great game.
They print this game on disc, no matter what, or cartridge, I'll buy it.
I'm there with you. The soundtrack's on Apple Music. I've been listening to the soundtrack in the background, just like having it on. God, the characters you meet, the places you go to, the scale. Like, I love games with scale, right? And you'll go from being in a swamp like jumping across these areas because if she goes in water, she pretty much dies. It's almost like GTA 3. But
It's Brant's PS2 game. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Water
You jump
kills
into
you.
water, you're dead. But I'm jumping along these little islands, and there's an alligator snapping turtle, which we all know, like they're here in Georgia with us, right? They'll fucking take your hand off. But they you'll see one just like skittering across the island and stuff, like slowly moving across. I'm like, hell yeah, I know what these things are. And then like the area I'm in now, you've seen the catfish in the marketing, Brant, like that catfish, the way it moves with that art, that claymation art style and stuff. And he's like suspended from this stone giant thing, so I've got to figure out how to get him out of there. But he's been narrating part of the story, and now I've met him, but it's weaved into the story where it's like, and that's when I met Hazel, and then that's who I find like right after that. I'm like, the storytelling is incredible. There's some parts of the Underground Railroad weaved in there, so there's pieces. I keep saying weaved, which is an extreme pun for South of Midnight, because it turns out Hazel is a weaver. So there's not been many of these weavers, but they can kind of like, they feel the representations of pain in the area, and what do they call that
healing.
stuff?
Yeah,
they help with healing. It's not blight.
Knots. It's like knots or something. They gotta like
Stigma.
fix the stigma. Yeah.
The stigma of like and it's a very positive story for this day and age, right? But it's like the stigma of the foulness and the poor history and things like that of the area, and the weavers have a chance to fix that. And
Love that reference in their pain in a bottle. Pain in a bottle.
That's yep. The guy with the bottle tree. And I've seen bottle trees in the South before. I've seen those. The shit's good, man. The way they talk, Hazel's like, what the fuck? It's just like, it's such a good story. It's so great. I'm loving it. The movement is good. The platforming's great.
It's definitely on my list for games this year, man. It is.
I thought for a second they would be giving me too much stuff. Like, there's things that'll get in your way. Brant, you'll have a platform that you have to like draw in to jump from. And then when you jump across there's something in your way that you have to break down. But they give them to you as just button presses. So it's not like you don't have to wait for a meter to fill up. You do in combat. But when you're traversing the world, you're just kind of like tapping these buttons. And I thought it would be too much, but you kind of just intuitively move around the world. Like, jump, glide, draw the platform, jump from the platform, break the bridge. Like, it has a flow and a smoothness to it that you don't see in platformers now. It's very much what Cesar was talking about, like PS2, Xbox, GameCube. It's just fucking good, man. Everybody, if you're listening to our show, you owe it to yourself to play South of Midnight. Now I'm fucking loving it.
It's, what was that, the 7th generation or the 6th that plays PS2?
I don't tend to go by the numbers. The numbers kind of get.
But whatever that generation, whatever generation is, Brant, you will enjoy it. Just definitely your cup of tea with the gameplay wise. It is very much a PS2, Xbox, GameCube game. It is 100%.
The storytelling is just, and I feel like it's so much in our realm of being in the South and like stuff that we hear about and deal with and talk about and lore and tall tales. Like, we know this stuff, and it's just it's been awesome. Thinking Inside the Box joined the show. Box, welcome. Yo. Thinking Inside the Box has me wanting to play Lost Odyssey. I may or may not have downloaded it to the 2 Xbox systems I have hooked up.
They haven't put it on the cloud. They haven't put it on cloud yet, man.
I know.
I'm
I keep hoping.
Crossing my fingers.
I keep hoping I can play it on a portable. Like, just give me some portable Lost Odyssey.
I fired up the cloud-based stuff and it's like, oh, Blink's a Time Sweeper in there. But I was like, damn, no Lost Odyssey or Blue Dragon yet. I think some rights issues with that, because remember they had some issues trying to put in that backwards compatibility. So
yeah,
they probably have to redo the contract again for whatever reason to get it on the cloud.
I'm also, for some reason, thinking about playing Splinter Cell games, so I don't know if that'll be stream or what. Box says, get it. It's on Game Pass. Yes, we all have. They gave it to us for free when it first came out digitally. So I think we all have copies of Lost Odyssey. I think all of us have physical copies of Lost Odyssey. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not.
Brant, you do not.
Been looking for one. I'll get one eventually.
Yeah.
So Brant, just to let you know that that 4th disc has the same issue as Panzer Dragoon because they put it in the fucking sleeve. So those 4th discs sometimes play, sometimes don't. So make sure whichever one you get. That I made sure I went through GameStop before they got rid of those to get a 4th disc at work, because I had to go through 4 of them because that whatever paper thing they put in there, they're hit or miss. They're 50-50. So sometimes they play, sometimes they
Oh.
don't. So you have to do that install on your 360 to make sure that disc is readable. Sometimes it's not. So,
But you're also good. Correct me if
Shit.
I'm wrong. If you pop in any disc for the Xbox One on, you're good as
Oh,
far
yeah,
as
on the
playing.
series,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll play
digital
back
copy,
that
you're
digital
fine.
one.
But if you wanted to play on that 360, just FY. So just install that
Yeah.
fourth disc on your 360 whenever you do get it. So
All right.
Can you do that without having played the first 3? Can you just install disc 4 Lost Odyssey?
you can install the whole game on there. So
Maybe I'll
that's how I found
try
out my
that.
fourth disc was bad, and what I ended up doing, there was a 3-disc game that was on 360 that you can just push down, and it just held up to 3 discs.
Yeah.
So I ended up swapping the case of that, and it fits all 4 perfectly. So I don't even have that paper bullshit. So because that paper bullshit was fucking up Panzer Dragoon Saga as well. So
Is it Blue Dragon? Was that the 3-disc game you're thinking of?
that
Where you
might
could
have
just-
been the
like
one
a
that
spindle?
I used. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, but that's it for me. Some Halo with you guys, and South of Midnight via Game Pass Ultimate for PC. I'm playing it on the ROG Ally Z1E, and it plays super well. It's a battery
Yeah.
hog, so stay plugged in, but it performs really, really well.
Yeah, and as Box says, Lost Odysseys 4, Blue Dragons 3. I think the only thing that kills it for us is that it's locked to the Xbox ecosystem. It's not on a PC-based way of playing it yet. So that's what we're kind of hoping, that we can get the cloud-based one, kind of like Blink's the Time Sweeper.
Yes.
They automatically put it on cloud, so that way we can kind of stream it, some way to play on a handheld. So we're not tied to the console. That's what we're kind of hoping for. So, but I don't think that's going to happen until they come out with the next console with the new backwards compatibility stuff. So
I would buy so many more digital licenses on Xbox for that reason alone. Like you were saying, Cesar, you got Xbox in every room. Like, let's go. And I got a portable Xbox, and I could put a Xbox on my head now.
Because I'm an Xbox insider, and they've been talking about this on social media for a while. But like my Xbox app finally updated now, where I can see my whole Steam library in there. So now I open up the app, and it has like access to everything I own, PC based, and I can launch it right from there. So it's like they're getting there. It's just I think within the next 2 years, I think you're gonna see a lot of Xbox PC branding, and they're gonna go that route mostly. But that's just, I don't think they're gonna go away fully until they figure out a way to get the ecosystem on PC. So, but neither here and there.
This is an Xbox.
Yeah, it's working. Smart move. Outside of playing the multiplayer games we had, which was both Halo games, nothing really to add on that front that you've already touched on. I mean, the only other, I've been dabbling here and there, and Brand has seen me play Bravely Default, but this is part of my 15th time playing Bravely Default, so I'm gonna wait till I get a little bit further, because that game was originally supposed to be a Final Fantasy Warriors game. I think the Light Warriors or whatever it was on the DS, and then they ended up renaming it Bravely Default because they felt it was different enough. But that imprint in there is still there, because you still have the crystals. You still have the crystals that are starting to lose power. That's affecting the world's oceans, wind. As they say, was it Mizu, water, Tsuchi, earth, Kaze, wind, and He for fire. So all those are being affected. So I haven't put much time in there. I'm gonna give it some more time before I talk about it. I think the only game the last couple of weeks that I'm putting in that it's been on my list since 2013 to beat is Don't Nod's Remember Me, which I played on PS3 back in the day. This was a PS3 360 game in 2013. Came out very tail end of that generation before the next gen consoles in 2014. And this is like before they started doing Life is Strange, and there are different ways of doing a visual novel or storytelling. So this game came out from Capcom. I think Capcom sells the license. I've played this on Steam, which I've played on PC, and I've also played on my Steam Deck, and I also played on the ROG, and it plays pretty well on the Steam Deck for a game that came out in the PS3 generation. It hits consistently 60 frames per second. If you have the OLED version, which will hit 90 frames per second, or with that a higher refresh rate on the screen.
Nice.
It's a beast, because this is a game made for NVIDIA, so there's more assets pulling in the background. So if you have a powerful PC, you can get that thing running 120 frames per second, and it looks pretty good. But I mean, that's just power spec wise. But it plays very well, which is also, I'm plugging it in because I think right now it's 80% off on the Steam sale. So if anybody's interested, definitely get it now. So
I need
you
to
ended
see
up
if I
starting
have this one.
You end up starting this game as a Nilin. You wake up in a prison, and all her memories are gone, and so she doesn't know what happened. Everything's been erased, and so as you come to, you're like in this like it's kind of like this weird thing where they're shoveling you more to a chair, where they're just going to do this final thing where they cut off all your memories, and somebody is I forgot his name, but it's somebody which he calls like either a brother or family member, and I'll get his name here shortly. I just had it and it just flew out of my mind. It's kind of like coaching you, like, hey, are you okay? It's kind of like she explains this like her brother figure. I don't know if they're related or not. So essentially, she wakes up and he gives her a way to escape. And so this kind of gives like your tutorial, as Richard has said before, which was very famous in the PS3 days, where it tells you like how to run, crawl, how to hide. And so it has this environment where it feels like it's open world. It's just very like Mirror's Edge. It's like you get this small environment, then you can move through and do different things in there. And as you push through, she finally escapes. And then once you get outside the prison, you have like this Neo Paris type situation where you have all these signs and multis, layered skyscrapers that are very similar, like Blade Runner. It's like a futuristic tech on there where you have all these rich people that live up top, up north, up above the clouds, and as you get down below, you have all these people who are very poor, who are not mentally stable. And then as you go down, you kind of get this exposure to this world where people tend to like what we joke about here, where we kind of forget things memory-wise. So like there's these important memories that you have, and so this company is kind of like capitalizing on it, where they can kind of like save your memories, and then you can access them whenever you need them. And it's like but it's only for the very
you're wealthy enough.
Yeah. If it's only for the very wealthy. And then it seems like you have these people who are, as you go through and they explain to like, yeah, they're not all theirs because their memories were removed or destroyed or whatnot. And so they're just like kind of like a bunch of golems is what it remind me of. They're like bald-headed, scurrying and fighting for stuff. And it's kind of like also that was that villain from Shenmue that was also bald-headed that had that weird way of speaking. It was very golem-esque. Yeah, that was a little weird. And as you go through, Nilin escapes her way. And you're kind of like brought onto the next area where like, okay, we need to find a way to kind of get back at the establishment is what they're telling you. So like you have to go to this skyscraper and kind of like steal somebody's memories for like this plans to get access to a dam. So you can kind of like flood this area. So as you go through, there's a person chasing after Nilin, which is Olga, which is kind of like a bounty hunter. Because Nilin ends up going back to like a broker, and she still doesn't remember everything. She's like, everybody seems like they know her, and she's like, I don't know who you are. And Olga was hired by the government or the prison or whatnot. There's like this company's basically trying to get Nilin back because she's I'm trying to find the word for it. She's anti-establishment type of person. So she's a rebel. And she's like the rebel leader, one of the leaders in there that's trying to overthrow them. And so Olga is like a bounty hunter that kind of flies through and picks her up. And then you go into this whole mechanic where you can see more of how she can manipulate memories. And Nilin sees that she has this tech to manipulate memories. So she goes into Olga's memories, and like you have to like rewind everything and fast forward. And you see she's doing the bounty hunter because this corporation, like her husband's like tied to his chair and he's like slowly dying, and they're like giving him shots that are not working. And so she kind of manipulates Olga's memories to say that corporation had killed her husband, which didn't really happen. And so she kind of like forces Olga to join your side. And so she kind of takes you to the next area. And as you go through, and they call it, I think, you go into like the guy called Licky Brain or something like that. So you're making your way up through Saint Michael, which is the area where you're trying to go to the architect to get the plans for the dam, and then you end up still in the you end up. It's mostly like a lot of wall climbing, and it's all that whole you see yellow or you see different color stuff on there, and you climb and grab, going up windows, and you have like all these robots that kind of like are in your way that makes that whole puzzle solving segment on there where you have to jump at certain angles. And then even then you'll have like these small battles on here, like you're fighting these troopers that are kind of like from that corporation. And so they have what they call a combo lab. So like as you go through and you unlock different memories, you get like a button, like I think on the Steam Deck is like X, Y, B, A that fits the buttons, the face buttons on that console, and you can construct a combo. And you unlock more. You can do more complex combos because you can do just straight X all the way through to do a sequence where you just punch. You can do one with Y, where you punch and then you'll punch and steal some health back. And then you have other ones where you can kind of do dodge, and on there kind of adds different variety on there. And you unlock those slowly as you go through to make more complex combos. That kind of keeps combat interesting. All right, as you go up there, you still the architectural design from the architect, and then you end up running to Kid Christmas, which is your first big boss battle. Because you don't really fight Olga that much. It's still kind of the tutorial for that first 2 episodes. This is the episode 2. I think there's 8 total. So I'm almost about halfway through the game. So Kid Christmas is somebody who used to be a rebel that now capitalizes it, where he forces like this type of boxing arena where he uses robots to kind of like stage these fights, and he's taking down all these rebels now, and he's making money off his fights. And so of course he ends up losing and begs for his life at the very end. She doesn't kill him, but she beats him, and gets his ability to now shoot electrical discharge is what he was using to control robotic things to kind of manipulate the environment. That adds more to the segment of the problem solving, where your platforming and everything, as you jump from walls and pipe the pipes as you climb, as well as different ways to bypass enemies, where you can shut down windows when you have gun turrets looking at you. I mean, it kind of adds more variety as you go through. It kind of keeps it from being the same. It gives it a little bit more depth, which it makes it a lot more better. And after that, Kid Christmas, you get the architectural designs, you give it to rebel leadership, and then they end up opening the dams in France, and they ended up flooding the whole sector and killing a whole bunch of people in the rich quarter. And so now Nidlin's to this part. This is where I stopped. She's at this part now where she doesn't have her memories, and she feels like she doesn't know what she's doing is right, because a lot of people just die from what she did.
Yeah.
And even though she's told, like, this is what you did before, she's like, I don't know if this is right. So now she's going through this thing where my goal now is to go back to the prison I originally woken up in, and find a way to recover my memories, to remember everything. So that's the part of the game I am right now. So, remember me. Yeah, I think this has been on my list for a while. It's always interested me because I do like Don't Nod. I like their games. I think they got a French company. They got a unique way of telling stories. But hopefully I can get this one off my list. It's something I just probably sit in bed maybe about 30 minutes before I go to sleep and just power it in on the Steam Deck and just shut it off. It plays pretty well. So, but that is going to be it for me this week. I'll kick it over to Brant to kind of take us home.
Bring us home, Brant.
Still trekking away at Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
So this, like I said, it was continuing the story of Ezio. I've gotten to the point now where I've rebuilt a bunch of stuff around Rome. Finally gotten like some of my mobility, like scaling ability, and this game you have to keep progressing through and completing all the sequences in order for like new stuff to be in the shop. So it's a little bit harder than it was in the last game to kind of get a good bit of health at the very beginning. But I finally got my health up. I even just completed like the little side quest where you can get like the mythic piece of armor in this game, because the last game you were able to get the like Altair's armor. And in 2 and in Brotherhood, your armor can like get damaged or broken to where you're at the top, your health is represented by like these diamond shaped things that kind of like go around and up at the top in almost this zigzaggy pattern. And if a piece of armor gets broken, those pieces are usually white. If you lose health, they just kind of go gray. But if it breaks, it turns red. And that piece of health that piece of health can't be regenerated until you go to like a blacksmith and get the armor repaired.
Okay.
So, but thankfully, if you get like the mythic piece of armor, so in the last game it was Altair's armor. In this game, it's some like you're in Rome. It's the followers of Romulus.
Yeah.
But at least the Altair armor, I can't remember if this armor does it too. I'll have to see when I go to the little place and put it on. But those armors don't break. Like no matter what, they just
Nice.
you're good. So that's like the incentive to go do all the extra stuff to get those armors.
Oblivion's weapons and armor work similarly, where it almost has its own health meter. And as you get beat up, like if you're really getting thrashed, it drops super fast.
Ooh,
And then some of them have enchantments, so you can use a repair hammer on the armor and like repair it yourself in the field. But some of them, if they have like any sort of magic enchantment and you don't have that attribute, it's like
it's gone.
You have to take it to somebody. You have to go back into town.
Get it re-enchanted.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing this now. Yeah, I like that.
To an extent.
To an extent, yeah. Same thing with like the Breath of the Wild weapon breaking stuff.
Oh, yeah, the Breath of the Wild stuff was crazy.
With it, I'm tired of swapping out bows. I'm only swapping out bows in Oblivion. I have my bow, and then I have like a backup one just in case.
But this is nice because they introduced. So in the last game, you could get like a poison function to where you go up and you kind of like stab somebody and inject some poison in them. They act all erratic. Sometimes if it's when you do it to a guard, they'll go up and they'll start attacking other guards, and then eventually they just fall over dead.
Nice.
In this game,
a little chaos agent.
This game they expound upon that. Eventually, you can get Leonardo da Vinci to craft like poison darts for you, to where you can fire them from afar, which was a cool addition. They added a crossbow in this game as well. Which, if I remember correctly, they had like a little crossbow in the original opening scene for the original Assassin's Creed, and then you never got it. So it took them 2 games to get through and finally get you a crossbow. Crossbow is kind of like your quiet alternative because you do have like a small little, almost like a derringer on your wrist. And in this game, in the last game, it's like you just have to sit there. Both of the aiming mechanics, you sit there, you aim, and it's like there's a reticle that comes down and goes to a fine point.
Oh, timing based thing.
So you have to sit there and basically like kind of aim, and when you get it down to that fine point is, a higher chance of you actually hitting whatever you're aiming at. But a lot of times, sometimes you can just press the button and you're fine. You'll fire, and if you're right there, you're gonna kill the person. But Ezio does some pretty cool finishing moves, because in this game, like I said, they expanded upon the combat, and so when you have your sword out, it actually will have the sword and like the little gun pops up in the corner. And so while you're doing like finishing moves, sometimes Ezio will do a couple sword moves, elbow the person, get them bent over, and then just put his hand on their back or their head, and he fires the gun. It's pretty freaking brutal, pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's some great finishes in this game. So as I've gone on, like I said, this one you're more kind of like building the brotherhood up in Rome. So eventually you get to this point where you have to recruit people. You go around and there's Borgia troops that are oppressing citizens. You have to save them, and then they impressed by your feat, they're like, let me join you. And so then there's this as you recruit more citizens, you get a extra bar, and you can get up to 3 up at the top, and that will call them into battle. So you can be up on a ledge somewhere and look over and see a guard, and you just kind of whistle, and if you're locked onto them, they just come out, and all of a sudden they go and attack for you, and they'll take down a target for you.
Yeah.
If you have all 3, you can like press and hold the call button, and it uses all 3 at the same time, but it like unleashes a volley of arrows at them on multiple enemies.
So it's like building a support type thing.
They all have their own levels. There's a you go up to like these pigeon coops, or there's like little headquarters that you go to, and you can send them on missions. And the missions are ranked, from like 1 to 5. And you'll select your assassin, and it's a global thing, like all over Europe. You can send them over here to do a run to, rescue this person, or go assassinate this person, or go liberate these food supplies from these people and deliver it to these other people. And based on what level the recruits are and what difficulty of the mission is, it'll tell you when you click on your assassins to send what's the percentage of them actually accomplishing the mission. And you can send multiples. So, and this levels them up, makes them stronger. And they'll, start coming into battle on horseback and stuff. It
seems like a cool management element to me. How does that work with like fans of the series, as far as that being a pivot from the way previous ones played? People generally like that at the time, or
I think at the time, yeah, people were fine with it. It was something different. It expounded, kind of upon the whole story, and to me, it added perfect, like, little complementary elements.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense in the realm of what was going on. So I think I'm getting pretty close. We've like kind of rebuilt everything. They've Ezio's compatriots have kind of recognized him. They're like, look, everything got taken away at the beginning. You've been here. Now you've put in all this work to rebuild, to build these relationships and networks. We're going to now recognize you. You deserve to be the head. And so he's been recognized as the head of the Assassin's Guild.
Does he want to be?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
He has no problem with it. So, and now all that's left to do is take on the Borgia and see where that leads. I cannot remember exactly how this game ends. It's been too long. I remember the last game, like I said, where you're fighting the Pope.
As one does.
I do not remember how this game ends. So it'll be interesting to...
That's exciting.
Relive that.
Yeah, even though you've done this before.
And I don't know if I'm going to go straight into Revelations. I don't... Like, this game, I think the main story and everything... Obviously, I'm doing a bunch of the side quests, but I saw something somewhere where if you just do the main story, it's like 15, 16 hours. So there's a good bit to do, but I think I remember Revelations even being like a smaller game too. Like, it was still a like full-fledged experience, but
they started being like smaller experiences.
Yeah.
They put more focus on the multiplayer, right, to kind of counterbalance the shorter campaigns.
I was about to say that, and this is about the time they were doing those multiplayer things where you could go in and like hunt other players and things like that. You had to assassinate certain targets, or it was fun. I remember playing those. They were interesting, but it wasn't enough to keep you coming back. So, but then eventually we got the generations later, we got the was it Syndicate, I think, or Unity, where it was like you could play with
Unity's
4
co-op.
different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Had his own co-op story. I don't think it was the main story, but it had his own co-op story.
Like a side story.
Which me and
like
you could probably do.
4 Swords.
Yeah.
I'd watch the shit out of that. Y'all play that?
Hell yeah. I'm about to say, I think at one point I maybe had one of those. I
have
don't see it.
multiple ways to play it, so you let me know.
Yeah, I was about to say I could always rebuy it and Shit, I'm down.
They don't tend to
Always
be
down.
expensive, right? Like the Assassin's Creed
No.
franchise, as you go to collect it, it's like, yeah, they've
Think-
done a
No,
good
they're
job
pretty
of
cheap.
making them forwards compatible.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there was a an Xbox Series patch on there, but I know that game runs way better on PS5 on the PS4 one, if I remember correctly, unpatched. Remember when they removed the patches, like you don't have that FPS limit they had on there, and it runs way smoother. I don't know if they ever
Yeah.
addressed that.
Kind of like
I'll
Last Guardian.
I'll have to do a deep dive, see what would be the best way to play it. But other than that, I did get in a 360 copy of Assassin's Creed. It's a very clean copy.
The original?
Popped it in and
Right.
and downloaded it to the Series X. So
Oh yeah, that's the way to play
eventually-
that one. It's beautiful.
yeah, might just boot it up and see how it looks,
Yeah,
because y'all said it was amazing looking.
yeah, it looks
With
crazy.
that X enhanced.
So I had a 1S for a while, and Cesar had a Scorpio edition, and then I finally bit and got the 1X, and I think it was right around the time that went backwards compatible, and he's like, "Dude, you got to pop that thing in. It's like crazy upscaling and perfect frame rate, and it's the ideal way to play that. I don't think there's a better version of that game out there.
Yeah,
It's not. I mean, say what you will about the game, like tech demo, or have they expounded upon it since then? Yes, that's not up for debate, but it's like the best way to play that version of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool to see. That's when I loved when they were throwing stuff at that backward compatibility program. Very much wish they would go back to this. They said they're going to, right? Like the next wave of Xbox, whatever that is.
Let's hope so. I know they kind of gave up on backwards compatibility, but it would be great if they just kind of continued enhancing some of these older games, bringing them up.
Yeah, and
I think-
please,
I think they got lost in that whole forward compatibility now, because I think there's no secrets to the next consoles being PC based. I think the concern is you don't cut off and leave behind the people in that current Xbox system, right? You can't do that.
Nope.
So I think they're pouring all their resources on integrating that fully in PC so they can get to where they want to hardware wise. So after that, they could probably cook some more and start adding stuff to that program once they get that. It's not, in my opinion, it's no point of trying to add stuff on that's going to give you grief later on when you're trying to change the ecosystem. So
Yeah.
and please let that apply across the this is an Xbox ecosystem. If this is an Xbox, let me play those Xbox games. Let me find a way to back up these discs and play them on MetaQuest and ROG Ally and whatever else. Fire Stick, right? That's the dream.
I mean, they've been pretty friendly about that, right? I mean, if you own the copy of the game outside of, like you said, if they can put a no CD key in there somehow tied to your account, that would be the next step.
Oof.
You can stream it somehow. So
Reward us for holding on to these hordes of physical copies all these years. Got original Xbox games staring down 25 years old at this point.
I think their only problem with that is how do you, because you could, you have a disc, you pop it in, maybe there's that one-time thing, you go and click and unlock, it's like verify to your account, or down, like you said, unlock a digital version of it to where you could share it anywhere. But I don't know if they're
how much would they be
about,
losing? Like who is doing that outside of
yeah,
like
who's
us?
like taking it and sharing it around? But honestly, they're not putting games on disc anymore.
Nope.
For the most part, even the games that they do throw out on a disc, it's not the full game.
And if they announce something like that, we will have a party, and you can bring your Xbox and authenticate whatever disc you want to.
Do it up.
We'll just go to town, popping discs in.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Is that it for you, Brant?
That's it.
Is that it for all of us? Do we have anything else we want to add? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
adios.